I'm Maciej Mikos, and you're watching World Talks. The last update of Elon Musk's AI chatbot Grok has sparked much controversy after the tool started to insult politicians. Among the targeted were Polish Prime Minister Donald Tusk and leader of the biggest opposition party Jarosław Kaczyński. Now the government is considering blocking platform X. Can AI tools shape the minds of voters, and where does freedom of expression end? And to discuss the issue, we're joined by Maia Mazurkiewicz, who you know perfectly well from TVP World's Anatomy of Disinformation. Good evening, Maia.
Good evening, Maciej. Hello.
So, why do you think Grok has started to insult politicians?
Well, AI are tools, right? And the question is what we feed them with and how we teach them to speak. And apparently we know what Elon Musk has been saying for the past few months and probably years. And he's expressing his political views quite severely as well. And what Grok has done recently was after a certain addition to the tool, right? And I guess that basically it was educated with the new way of thinking, new way of doing something, different on X. And that's what he's doing. And that's what he has been learned. And unfortunately, a lot of those issues were against information integrity as well. We're having a lot of hate speech. And especially, I'm very concerned that there was a lot of anti-Semitic posts written by the Grok.
Mm. Now, it tells us a lot about the X platform as it is, but there's another aspect of the situation. Now, the new Grok update and Elon Musk's announcement of forming a new political party in the US. Now, are they somehow connected?
Well, most probably, right? I mean, if you are a politician and you have a tool as X platform, and also you are having so much money, you want to do everything to rule the world. And basically, if we are looking at Musk, he has all the possibilities to change the people's mind. And if we're looking at the way as the world is right now in terms of information integrity, but also the way how the information is shaping the world and how we as humans are receiving information every day in the amounts as our ancestors did for their whole lifetime, we can switch our opinions very, very fast. And if indeed there is a political views involved, that's what is being used. And those are the tools that have been used already before, if we're talking about marketing, if we are talking about advertisement. And a lot of those tools that previously been used by different companies, let's say Coca-Cola, are now being used in the political campaigns. And that's why we need regulations. And that's why also, if we're talking about the internet and if you're talking about the safe space that we want, because the world right now is not only offline and it's not only online, but it's coming together, right? Offline and online is joining more and more. But as much as for years we are having, or centuries actually, we've been having certain agreement on how the world should look like, we never discussed of how internet should look like. And internet is basically created by the big platforms. They're earning money on it. And governments, if they are trying to regulate it, and we are seeing that the European Union is trying to regulate it, and we are having 3 acts at least that recently been introduced. One of them is AI Act, and the other is the SA and the MA. And those acts are trying to regulate the internet. But at the same time, we are having, again, Elon Musk and different also people that are saying that it's a censorship, but it's not a censorship. And also freedom of speech, if we're talking about the legal issues, it has boundaries. And it has boundaries in offline, and it should have also boundaries online.
Let me then quote Polish digital minister: "Freedom of speech belongs to humans, not to artificial intelligence. Now, I guess that you agree with him, but won't it lead to a situation where this powerful AI tool is censored only because it can hurt someone's feelings? You know, it is deprived of human sensibility. At least it should be, right? It should be used as a tool.
It should be used as a tool, but if we're talking about AI, and we're also talking about the singularity moment, for example, and Bo Godot, that is one of the creators of Google X and has left Google also several years ago. He has written in his book that it's 2030, and it's one of the years that singularity moment can happen. He said that humanity is then living in the forest or coming to the forest, and we only can imagine if it's the moment where humans are hiding in the forest because AI is ruling the world, or we actually have a time to spend it in the forest, that we can basically spend it with the nature. And it's a question, right? Because we are creating right now powerful tools. It's creating faster than we thought it will create. But we are very often forgetting about ethics, and we are very often forgetting about values. And those are the most important things. And if you're looking at the ChatGPT, right now, it's having different boundaries again and regulations, because at the very beginning, when it was put forward, it could tell you how to create a bomb. And those are regulations that we also as citizens need to push the governments to regulate. And we need to put the governments to go and discuss with the platforms. And also we need to say, if we want to spend our time in the platforms that can affect our safety and security, that can change our mind, that can manipulate us, and that can also promote hate speech, that it's so aggressive and it's bringing a lot of vulnerability as well in us, but especially also in the young people that don't know how to use the tools, that there is an issue, obviously, of the media education, of the critical thinking.
But there's also a problem with people who know perfectly well how to use these tools. I cannot exactly recall the source, but there has been a study lately showing that some 10% of all medical publications last year were probably written by ChatGPT alone. So that gives you the scale of the problem. Now, talking about...
Well, there is a study where 80% of Gen Z is saying that could marry a ChatGPT or other chat. You know, that's...
Oh, wow. All right. No. I'm wondering about the danger it poses. Now, and especially about the Grok chat box. Now,
it's a powerful tool, and so we also been seeing, for example, Krzysztof Bosak that commented on it.
Oh, right. You know, because right? I'm wondering whether all the politicians get their share fare of insults, or is it just promoting, you know, a certain vision of politics?
Well, I think it was like I didn't manage, obviously, to look at all of the posts that he created. I was trying to find how many actually he managed to create, but there was for sure a lot. But the ones that we've seen and we've seen in the media, they were rather attacking more of the liberal politicians, although also Erdogan in Turkey was attacked. So, well, also different kind of politicians, but they were also attacked people with the Jewish surnames.
Mm-hmm. But is shutting all of the X platform a good idea? That's something that has been proposed by the Polish digital minister.
Well, that's a question, right? It's a question if Grok is an AI tool that is connected to X platform. And what is important is trust and safety mechanism. And trust and safety mechanism has been introduced in many platforms previously, but unfortunately for the past year, most of the platforms release of the trust of safety mechanism. X was first. And X, when it was taken by Elon Musk, pretty much released all the trust and safety mechanism. So checking pretty much what is happening on the platform, right? And whether it's not freedom of speech, but rather there is hate speech, it's violation of rights, it's attack on a particular person or a group of people, right? It's stop checking it. And we've seen what happened in Myanmar. And in Myanmar, Meta is still receiving the fines because they were not able to stop genocide. And that's what is happening with the social platforms. I mean, if we don't have a control over it, foreign entities, as Russia, for example, that is very visible of the influence operations in the European countries, or as we see, also AI ruled by one person or owned by one person, can change people's mind. And there was a famous example of a Team Jorge. There was investigation by several different media organizations in Europe, and it was a company, Israeli company, that was for 1 million euros saying that it's able to change the elections. And in this investigation, you can find out about around 30 different countries that they were involved in. And what they've been doing, they were just putting different bots and, for example, hijacking the hashtag, right? And in this way, they were able to maneuver and change the narrative. And with a tool as Grok, it's much, much easier, right? So I'm not saying yes or no for Platform X being banned from Poland, but I think it's very much worth to check if it's still safe. And it's also about safety. Well, we are living in the world where everything is possible. I think that we all feel that there is a lot of fear around us, a lot of chaos also in the geopolitics. Geopolitics are shifting. Different ways of how politics is being made as well is shifting. So that's why we very much need to look at the internet and how the safety in the internet is visible. So I think it's a good thing that European Commission should look at it, because that's also something that Gawkowski did. And I believe that we should have much broader discussion on how the internet should look like, because we very much need the agreement on the internet. It's on us. It's about our safety. And we shouldn't leave it to the companies that are earning on the way how we click and how we think and who we vote for.
Well, the discussion is constant and ongoing, but it changes very, very little. Maia Mazurkiewicz, Anatomy of Disinformation. Maia, thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
And thank you for watching, and stay with us for much more news, interviews and other features here on TVP World.